Good morning, everyone. We have another review from Sundance 2025. This is co-written by the director of Sing Sing, Greg Quaidar. It's directed also by Clint Bentley, his second feature film following his first film, Jockey. It's a poetic American tale at the turn of the 20th century. This is, can you hear it? Actually, you can hear it in the background. Do you hear it? That's a train, because we're reviewing Train Dreams. And all I have to say is this film really did stick with me. Yvette, why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Sure. So this is based on a novella by Dennis Johnson, and it follows a logger's entire adult life falling in love and building a life amid the wilderness of the American West. The logger is played by Joel Edgerton, and his wife is played by Felicity Jones. It's rather a simple story plot-wise, but I think it's pretty epic in scope, capturing the spirit of life itself.
Yeah, I really love this film. I think it was my favorite film that I saw at Sundance. I know we saw this at home, and I wish I saw it on the big screen, because I think...
We saw this at home?
Yeah.
It felt so grand in scale. I could have sworn that we saw this on the big screen.
No, we saw this at home. We saw it on a 15-inch laptop. But in terms of visuals, I don't think I saw a more beautiful looking film at Sundance this year. It has that majestic Terrence Malick-y feel. It's shot by Adolfo Veloso. And every frame of this film, you can print it out, use that image on a postcard. It's really beautiful.
I felt like utterly immersed in the beauty of the world that this film inhabits. It's visually stunning, but I will say I don't think the story captivated me as much as it did for you.
Okay, well, like Tree of Life, it's definitely less story-driven. I think it has more story than Tree of Life, but it's more about the emotions that this evokes within you.
It's definitely heartbreaking at its core, and there is a thorough line plot-wise. There's like a simple story you do follow, and the movie does navigate in a very serene way. The overall experience was beautiful. I just wasn't connecting with it, I think, at the same level you were.
You know, most of the time, man, I'm not that person who really gravitates towards films that are thin on plot. I wouldn't say they're typically my thing, but this film just really had me under its spell. This film reminded me of what I loved about Kelly Reichardt's First Cow. It has that sense of wonder. I felt completely transported to the American frontier where, you know, times were tough, but the simple pleasures of life were abundant. Train Dreams is a heartbreaking tale of the American dream, but I also found it strangely life-affirming and optimistic.
There's narration throughout the film, too, which reminded me of Big Fish a bit.
A film I also like. I like Big Fish.
I think it adds a sense of wonder and nostalgia. It anchors the storytelling, and it makes you feel like you're listening to an American folktale or something. So I did enjoy the narration. The voice was great, and it added a really special quality to the film.
I was wondering when the big conflict was coming in this movie when I was watching it. However, this film really flows in its own unique way. The plot structure reflects the unpredictability and curveballs that life throws at you instead of this kind of traditional 3-act structure. But this film isn't like conflict free. In fact, eventually tragedy does strike in this film. And when it does, oh man, it strikes hard. It's crushing. But again, to Train Dreams' credit, it never feels, at least to me, it never felt emotionally manipulative. And also, I think this is easily one of Joel Edgerton's greatest performances to date. It's really subtle, but it felt so emotionally layered. He's introverted, almost painfully shy. He's rugged and manly and tough, but he's also filled with this kindness, and he has a love for Felicity Jones's character that's palpable. And then William H. Macy, he plays like an old timer in this movie, and I think he's one of the film's most memorable characters. I think this is the best I've seen from him in a while, and he delivered some really wonderful monologues in the film. It kind of felt like a movie that was made by the Coen brothers. Like if the Coen brothers were less cynical, and I don't mean that as an insult because I love the Coen brothers and I love their cynical, dark sense of humor, but I know the Coen brothers have an affection and interest in the American frontier, like their film The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. In fact, this film is kind of like a ballad in a way, but Train Dreams poetically captures this time period of an average guy navigating through life trying his best to adapt to the changing times and finding his life purpose within it. It's bittersweet, it's funny, it's adventurous, it's romantic, it's reflective. I don't know, the film just really worked for me. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I liked it.
It's definitely grand in scale, so I can see why it's your thing. It is a beautiful film. Final thoughts for me, I mean, I think you said it all already. It was a gorgeous film, 8 out of 10.
Well, for me, talking about this film just conjured up so many fond memories of watching it. I'm going to give this film a 9. I really enjoyed it. Well, there you have it. Train Dreams. Check it out. And actually, Netflix purchased this movie at Sundance. So maybe we'll see a little awards push for this one. I think of all the films I saw at Sundance, this might be the one that has the best outside chance of Oscars potentially. I think we're gonna have to see how audiences react, starting with all of you. So comment below what your thoughts about Train Dreams were when you see it.
More Sundance reviews coming your way. Hit the subscribe button and follow us on social media. Links in the bio. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, we'll see you at the Oscars.
And at Sundance. Choo choo! Train Dreams.